Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another week of Collegiate Star League's League of Legends season for 2015. My name is Reed Rapid Meldon, and momentarily we'll be joined by my co-caster Joshua Fekez Quest. But first of all, I do want to thank everyone for coming out and tuning in. You know what time that means? It is time for the game. So let's go ahead and get into Champion Select for game number 1, University of Connecticut facing off against University Ottawa. And here we go into Champion Select. That means it's time to check out the band Soraka number 1. And you are going to be seeing a Soraka band for every single one of these games. Turns out this guy named Myers, formerly of Flawless Esports, it's the FE tag, is a pretty good Soraka player. However, Connecticut aren't the only team that can ban support players, and there's a Thresh coming out in the ban column for Ottawa. Now the rec side, and this one's going to be focusing Harry Abs. In case you've never heard of Zarab Sayad, that guy is an incredible jungler in the challenger scene, currently on Team Frostbite, playing in the HTC tournament coming up this weekend. He is about 1,000 points, 900 points challenger, so definitely want to focus his champion pool. Now a Victor ban coming out here does make a little bit of sense, but at least we're seeing a little bit of a focus away from the jungle, frees up more champions. And there's a Kindred ban, so Kindred recently allowed to be played this week after a couple of weeks released. Excited to see her being played, but won't be this game. It's going to be banned against Harry Abs as well. Last ban coming out here for Ottawa. And that means that we're going to be seeing possibly another mid lane ban if they just want to really tunnel in onto that. But keep in mind, most of the, I guess, traditionally most picked or banned champions are still up there. You've got things like Gangplank, things like Theora, things like Darius. All those guys still have Vagar, still available, all very, very high priority picks. The Tom Kench ban, definitely necessary. I don't know if you guys like playing against Tom Kench, but if you do, I'd love to meet you and talk about League of Legends and how you're actually the only person that... I'm just kidding. Great champion, but also a little bit too great to be allowed through the ban phase. That's taken out, and now an Aatrox. Now, here's the thing about Aatrox and how it's not actually a thing. Okay, Aatrox has been kind of left behind. It's been a great while since we've seen him played in competitive play. Won't be played here tonight, at least not yet. Pick on the Tristana means that we should be seeing a Jinx out here from Ottawa, unless they want to go with more of a utility AD carry, something a little along the lines of like Ashe, or I guess Callista, not banned either. She's another champion that makes it into the ban column quite frequently. So I just want to make sure that we have everything together. There's another Aatrox pick. It's totally getting locked in, guys. I promise. 100% Aatrox pick. Not really, and I'm not too sure about the Heimerdinger there, but such is the wonder of having 25 seconds left to pick your champions. You can kind of, you know, pick whatever you want. Or at least that's the hope, but... Let's go ahead and, yeah, there's the Jinx pick. Jinx and Tristana, two of the best hyper carries out there, and especially in CSL, have been the two most picked AD carries this entire season amongst broadcasted games. So, definitely pretty excited to see more of the same. And there's an Elise pick. Elise, definitely a high-tier jungler, maybe right along the lines of Rek'Sai, Gragas, right up there, and a great pick for Harry Abs. It's going to be really exciting to watch how he is able to impact the game on such a high-impact champion. So let's go ahead and switch it back over to University of Connecticut, because they still have a couple more picks left here. Prince Alushi and Dofree, the next two people to pick Champinos, and that means that, what are we looking for? A lot of times you'll see AD carries and supports picked together. Now, that's not the case this game on either side, but what's more impactful, I feel, is that, you know, there's still so many high-priority picks left available. So you've got things like I said, like a lot of top lane picks. You've seen primarily... Whoa, that's a Sejuani Alistar. Okay, the Frail Yord Boar Rider, not a champion we've seen in a while. I think I would have expected Aatrox jungle more than Sejuani, since they were hovering that over. But yeah, it's been a cool minute. Now, she does have fairly decent wave clear, a lot of persistent magic damage over time, but it turns out that her jungle clear is just a little bit too painfully slow to keep up with the current meta. So she kind of gets run over by champions like Rek'Sai and Lee Sin specifically. But we don't have either one of these champions in the game, so maybe setting up for one of these big hardcore wombo comps. Hey man, go for it. I haven't seen a Sejuani, one of the champions we didn't even get a chance to see at Worlds, even though there were so many of them picked. So I think it was upwards of like 80 champions, so Didn't include Sejuani. We'll get a chance to see her here. And there's a Lulu. Okay, so this is getting a little bit ridiculous for Ottawa. They've got so many good picks. You almost never see a team get Lulu and Janna. It's like the double shield. So basically, excuse me, what you have happen is you put your shield on your AD carry, you speed her forward with Whimsy, she kills everybody, and if she ever gets jumped on, you just wild growth her and then kill everyone. So it's a little bit interesting to see this many very strong champions left open for Ottawa, but I think that's kind of the strategy here with the draft. You know, that there are so many strong champions out there. You target ban the ones you know you can't play against, and then leave everything else up so you can build your perfect team comp even with a lot of strong champions left available. That's going to be Myers on the Janna. It's definitely a second best champion after Soraka. So excited to see the Soraka ban. Maybe it'll get left up one of these games. Although something tells me it's not quite as likely. But look for the last couple of picks from University of Connecticut, and also for a looping playlist of the champion select music, so I don't have to start over again. But there we go. It's a knock-up composition. We've got Malphite and Yasuo both locked in there together, and that means that it's going to be a completely team fight based wombo combo composition there from University of Connecticut. Incredibly excited to watch that at work. But on the other side, this looks like more of a hyper carry, kind of the idea of you know, just we want to put as much shielding, as much protection on our AD carry, and let that be our win condition there. So we're still looking for one last pick. There could be a mid lane or top lane Lulu. It's probably going to be support Janna, so I don't think that Lulu's really a flex pick down there. We're still looking to see the final pick here for the mid lane. What's it going to be? Ottawa, of course, like I said, with Vigar left up, still very, very strong. However, you don't really want to run that into Yasuo. I'd much rather have things like the Lulu for the harass, and it looks like it is going to be a Rumble. Rumble, a really big counter-engaged champion. That means that whenever you know, Malphite wants to wombo combo you in there, you just land an equalizer right on top of everything. Turns out that's going to feel good, man. So excited to see that work out, and it does look like we should be able to get into our game, and that means a couple of things. One, we have to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, and that means that we're going to show them some love and, of course, thank them for sponsoring CSL. You can see them right there on your screen. Brain Gear, Twitch, and Alpha Draft. While everybody's getting their champions switched around. Big thanks to all three of them. Of course, if you're into fantasy esports, check out Alpha Draft. If you're watching here on Twitch, then shout out to them for making this possible. Of course, if you're looking to boost your brain with some all-natural supplements, Brain Gear is a way to do it. So definitely check them out and thank them for supporting us. Of course, also wouldn't be possible without viewers like you. So if you are running ad block, go ahead and switch that off for just a second while we head to a quick commercial break. Because when we come back from this commercial break, we'll be heading into University of Connecticut versus Ottawa here in game number 1 of our best of 3 series, Collegiate Star League Week 4, our 2015 League of Legends season. Thanks for watching, guys, and don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Collegiate Star League's 2015 League of Legends Season, week number 4. My name is Reed Rapid Melton. Of course, joining me tonight, besides all of you wonderful people, is my wonderful co-caster, Joshua Fekez Quest. Welcome back, buddy.
Thank you very much. Yeah, no, oh my gosh, I'm so sad that my PC crashed. Apparently I need new RAM, but it doesn't matter. I'm here.
Why don't you just go download some more, man?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it is memory, right?
I actually just did it over the break. It's that easy. But possibly not as easy as predicting the winner of this matchup. Now, maybe on paper, University of Ottawa, with a very, very scary Masters and Challenger lineup of players, specifically Harryabs and Myers, both former professional players in and of themselves. You'll get a chance to check out Harryabs this weekend in HTC Ascension as he plays on Frostbite. So definitely want to show him some love. But of course, on the other side, you'll also got a roster of Masters and Diamond players coming out of University of Connecticut on the blue side. It's going to be exciting to see what their Wombo Combo composition brings us this game.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see them because T-Dollars, aka T-Money, and Jasmine33, I believe, are repeats from last year. I definitely remember T-Dollars, aka T-Money, just because I really like that name. But
yeah, not to be confused with J-Dollar, aka J-Money.
No, yeah, there's all sorts of T-Monies and T and J. I don't know, you can put any letter in front of there, and it's pretty cool, honestly. But no, I think they're the same bot lane as last year for UConn. If I recall, they're pretty beastly. We're going to see how they perform here tonight. I'm really anxious to see them. And yeah, a huge Wombo combo coming out from UConn with the Malphite and the Alistar comboing into the Yasuo. And Sejuani making an appearance tonight too. Prince Alashi, I believe this might be how you pronounce that name, showing up on the Sejuani. And that's going to be the skin of the... not what is it? What's that kingdom in the north on the rift?
Freljord.
Freljord. It's not any Freljord skin. It is that bear skin. So the glacial prison now becomes a steel prison because he actually throws down like big bear trap kind of things out there.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about the game. How is it starting out? We've got double jungles on the top and bottom sides of the map. Well, this is actually the AD carry and support both doing a jungle camp. You'll see the same thing on both sides, although it will be a little bit more damage to Myers and Telfer as they come into lane. They'll get there a little bit late, which means they'll be behind on their level 2, which can be pretty devastating. Of course, also more devastating than that. Yeah, right. There's a little bit of a pause coming out here, so hopefully we'll go ahead and get that sorted out and hopefully get back into the game here pretty soon.
Yeah, we've been seeing these double jungle stars, I think, every week in the CSL so far. They've been pretty popular, and I mean, when you both do it, I mean, you both are going to get the level advantage in the top lane, and also, I mean, you're not going to get a level advantage. I guess I should take that bone back. You're going to get that level 2 early in the top lane. You're going to burn your teleports. You don't need your teleports early on anyways. So it's not so bad. T-Dollars, aka T-Money, though, and Jasmine33 showing some aggression. Shield goes down a little bit late onto Telfer, so get some damage put onto him. Nicely played on the bot lane already.
Got first teleports coming up as Molecat comes to top lane at level 2. Going to go ahead and actually put him in the spot he's supposed to be in and make sure everyone else is situated, and they are. Of course, teleport up to top lane there by Chiruno. There to join him. Malphite into Rumble. Malphite not necessarily traditionally very strong versus Rumble, but Rumble's always one of those champions that is super squishy. So if you can lock him down, then he kind of explodes. But especially if you allow him to just bully you out in lane, a lot of really strong capabilities in lane because you don't have to auto attack, so you don't draw minion aggro, and you can just flame the wave as much as you can. Flame, of course, most of the time being lame, but not in this isolated perspective.
And Molecat actually brought up bought an amplifying tome and 5 health pots. So he has quite a bit of sustain up there. But Chiruno, he also has quite a bit of sustain too, bringing the 5 health pots and flask. So that's just going to be a lane where they bust their heads against each other and just wait for something to happen. Wait for a gank to come out.
Prince Lucio is thinking about busting something, but oh wow, gets that last auto attack on the Scuttle Crab just in time. Seeing a brief exchange there. Jungler versus jungler. Harryabs walking into the enemy jungle because he knows Sejuani's early jungle is pretty terrible, at least when you compare it to a double buffed up Elise. Now, coming back towards the mid lane, looking for the flash, the cocoon, it lands! The damage is coming in! Where's that glitter, Lance? Going deep for it, but the last auto attack does not land. Harryabs almost going down under turret.
Yeah, meanwhile in the bot lane, T-Dollars aka Money not landing that pulverized, or headbutt pulverized combo, so actually knocking Myers away. Molcat, he's getting quite a bit of damage put onto him in the top lane. He needs to start chugging those health bars. There they are. He had not been chugging them yet, and he's under half health. And if you have that many health pots, just be liberal with them. Just chug them. It doesn't matter. So we're gonna see if he can last in that top lane. Elise is hanging around. May get some help from Harry Abs pretty soon, but it's like Jasmine33 trying to zone off Telfer as much as he can in the bot lane. This is interesting. So let's go back to the jungler. Yeah. Sejuani, not near strong of a jungle early on as an Elise. Where do you put them? Because you're actually a big fan of Harry Abs, aren't you?
Well, yeah, we're going to put Elise up, or put Sejuani up in the top half of the map, looking to go in for a gank, but knows that only level 3 can't really do anything to Rumble right now, so a wise ward there defensively. But yeah, not necessarily just a big fan of Harry Abs, just like, hey, he does cool stuff. I like cool stuff and the people that do it. Sort of kind of idea.
I don't call that a fan.
Got a chance to see him play, and of course I've been watching him on his Challenger team, Frostbite. One of the best junglers for a while that hasn't necessarily made it into the big challenger scene spotlight, but certainly very, very talented. However, you know, going to school kind of puts a damper on you, you know, moving out and playing in big team houses. So we'll see how that goes. Myers gonna bring the pain down there. Of course, with the TSM icon probably done causing its fair share of pain for this week.
That's why I cast collegiate games, because, you know, I'm too much of a TSM fanboy. I'd have way too much bias as an LCS caster. That's why I'm not an LCS caster, guys. Don't take anyone else's word for it.
Alright, well, as far as the bottom lane goes, let's see if we can see any LCS big plays down here as Myers and Telfer just farming things up, and that's the thing. Oh, man, I got a little bit of a jungle altercation.
Yeah. Harry Abs getting caught out there, actually trying to get into the enemy jungle, but Dufry doing a good job spotting him out and putting quite a bit of damage onto Harry Abs, so he needs to be careful going back into the enemy jungle. But he does have a ward on that side, so he will be spotting out Prince on Sejuani as she roams around. He knows exactly where his route will be after that, but here we go. A lot of focus on the bot lane from this camera so far.
Yeah, I was going to say, a lot of, not necessarily trading, but a lot of farming, a lot of minion death. We'll keep an eye on that. I haven't really seen too much from Chiruno lately. He does have teleport up and available, but not really anywhere to really use it. He can teleport maybe into a side ward here in mid, but Dofree just now hitting level 6. That might actually be a pretty decent combo, but needs to shove out the top lane first. Molcat doing a pretty good job up there.
Is that how you pronounce his name, Dofree?
I mean, you could be Dofree,
yeah.
Do-Fry.
I think I said Dofree, and the chat's like making fun of me. I was like, alright, whatever, guys.
So mean.
I'll call it Dofree. I think
Leave
that's how.
Fekez alone.
I think yeah. It's only Rapid's the only one who can make fun of my pronunciation of anything.
Well, that's because we pretty much always differ on things. So
yeah.
By default, we're just gonna pronounce things different ways, and that way, one of us was guaranteed to be right. So.
All right. So yeah, it looks like. Man, Lulu, Uru. Anyways, he's gonna go back, pick up a Fiendish Codex, come
it's
back.
Ururu.
Ururu. Yeah, Ururu. Thank you, man. This is why I need you here.
If you put a T in front and replace the first R with another T, it would be Tuturu, which I'm sure makes a little bit more sense to people. But yeah, Ururu, bring it back to the mid lane as Fiendish Codex. I miss.
I'm not very cool. I just want you to know that.
That's okay. It's okay. If there are cool people out there, then we can all be cool together. And hey, I mean, you're watching Collegiate League of Legends, so that already makes you pretty cool, right?
Fair enough. So more action in this bot lane, according to the League of Legends spectator camera. You know, there's still not too much going on. It's just been kind of a farm fest, but it's been like that in every lane. We saw Dofree have a little bit of action in the jungle around the Raptors for against Harry Abs, but that's about it. Not much else going on right now. Everyone just kind of at a standstill, and yeah, I'm waiting for these teleports to really come into play because Chiruno, he's the one that can really make these teleports happen with his unstoppable force after a teleport. It can really make these bot lane ganks happen, but I'm not feeling too confident yet. Just gonna just stick in the top lane and farm up. There's not a huge advantage except in the mid and the bot lane right now. Mid lane, go free.
There's about to be some advantage there, but turns out Lulu can run away from things, which is a pretty valuable characteristic. We got out more action mid lane. Harry Abs looking to go in there, wants to land a cocoon, but Dofree backs away in time.
Yeah, both junglers in the mid lane as well, but again, they're just going to back off, so almost like a Cold War going on. Oh, T-Dollars, aka T-Money, he's going to get the knock-up onto Harry Abs, but he might find himself in a bad situation. Or maybe not. Actually, Harry Abs is going to just retaliate back. Dofree not going to commit all the way onto this one. So yeah, Harry Ab's just gonna walk away. And, I guess mission accomplished. I don't really know what he was going for. Did he get a ward down?
I don't really want to feel Rumble's fury with my skin and face. That's
No,
what he
you don't.
says.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Not a big fan of that. Generally, I like my skin and face to feel as little fury as possible. Going back up the top lane, Chiruno,
Yeah.
though, seems to have found himself a winning composition. Now, keep in mind, this Malphite is going to be a little bit more damage heavy. He's going with a lot of magic penetration and some ability power in the form of that Doran's ring and a flask. So, really sort of a lot of early game itemization there. We'll see if that pays off. But you can see Molcat just running him around. Middle of the jungle. Prince Alushi going back in on the Harry Abs.
Yeah, Harry Abs, he's going to try to retaliate, but he's in a bad situation. There's the Wombo, there's the Unstoppable Force, Last Breath, First Blood, going over to Dofree, and now Shirino trying to get out of there. But
Oh, the
Molcat-
wind wall to stop that rocket from coming in. Miss on the glitter lance, though. He was trying to snipe Prince Alushi. But a Ruru.
I don't think you can get anything here. Yeah, Last Breath is down. Very nice pickup by Dofree, but it is answered back by Molcat. So 1 for 1, but the First Blood does go over to UConn.
I want to see UConn play a school from the westernmost and smallest of Canada's 3 federal territories. You know what that is, Fekez?
Tell me.
UConn.
All right, thank you.
I feel like that would make it super fun to cast. Would just say UConn does something, and we'd always be right.
And that's what I like being, because sometimes I'm not.
That's okay. That's why you got me here, right?
Well, that's what I just mentioned that earlier. So yeah, I mean, it's always good having someone having your back. So speaking of having your back, this bot lane, just kind of hanging out down there, just farming. Nothing too exciting going on, but there is quite a CS lead coming out from Telfer right now. 20 CS up almost, and he's carrying it through. Both of them have a BF sword in the bot lane, but if you look at the gold charts, it's still, I mean, obviously for Telfer, it's not too far ahead, only about 300 ahead right now, but that could be the difference between finishing your your Infinity Edge and not finishing it. So pretty good advantage coming out from Telfer right now in the bot lane, and looks like both supports are roaming, but T Dallas is going to go back down first, not get a pick onto Telfer because he's going to back up. And a lot of vision control coming out for this dragon right now.
Control around the area, and more importantly, all ultimates now back up for University of Connecticut, which means that they have great positional control. Once they entrench themselves in an area like around that dragon pit, it's going to be super scary to run in on that. You got not only just Sejuani ultimate, but Chiruno does have teleport up, so he can teleport in, and there's no way for Rumble to stop him, because of course he doesn't have any hard crowd control, so it's going to be pretty interesting to watch how that transpires when either team really goes there. But like you said, it's been remarkably passive up until now, and that's been really good for Ottawa because they've given Jinx time enough to farm up a lead, 15 CS advantage down there in the bottom lane, and just really start to get, you know, her late game maybe a little bit early without being punished for having a weaker early half of the game.
And Molcat has actually finished his Leandri's Torment as well, so he's got his nice big power spike item as oh, there's a smite coming out from Prince. Yeah, but Rumble getting that Leandri's is pretty huge, especially against Chiruno, who is just going to be, you know, he's a melee champion, so he's going to be in the front lines trying to get those, trying to CS, and you just have a flame spitter, as you said, melting your face off, burning it away, and now you have an burn added to that as well. So really like that pickup. It's going to really help his power spike out, as that is one of Rumble's favorite items on the Leandri's Torment.
You know what really helps your power spike out, Fekez? Staying in school. That's what all these guys are doing. It's your IRL knowledge power spike.
That is very true.
Did you know Ottawa, the most educated province in Canada?
Oh, really? So like how is that determined?
I believe it is based on the number of secondary, educational, and post-secondary research and cultural institutions, Fekez.
What's secondary?
You know, there's primary, like high school, and then you've got secondary school, which is, you know, college and stuff, like the University of Ottawa. that we're watching here today.
Well, we'll see if that was those test scores come in handy in this game. Nice!
Oh my gosh!
Nice
The
polymorph.
whimsy. All right.
Yeah.
Making sure he doesn't get knocked up there, or I guess he does get knocked up. Making sure he doesn't get ulted. A lot of action around the mid lane. Also, I believe I called Ottawa a province.
Oh yeah, I'm looking
earlier.
at that.
That is unfortunately not true.
To be fair, you're from Texas.
Much like the game right now, my brain disconnected there for a second. So apologies for that. I'm pretty sure I've just angered an entire half of the North American continent.
No, like I said, I just want to point out you're from Texas, which is like the complete opposite of Canada. I mean, it's just kind of some slack, guys. It's fine. The fact that you even knew about all that in the first place was good, at least in my opinion.
Hey, I knew it was the capital of Canada. That counts for something.
There you go. Yeah.
For all you kids out there that thought it was super cool to pay attention in geography class, high five. Also, apologies for the rough life you probably had in college. But at the same time, hopefully getting back in here to the game. To be fair, my American history is much better. For instance,
tell me,
did you know?
I hope you get this right.
Connecticut is the southernmost state in the region of the United States called New England.
That makes sense. Oh, yeah, that makes sense because it's all up there. Well, there's not really. How many other new? There's not too many new.
Well, it's true, but as far as the United States goes, it is the third smallest state as well.
Yeah, that one makes sense. So, yeah, Connecticut, if anyone's ever seen it, not very big. It's right up there close.
It's not very big, but it is the 29th most populous state and the 4th most densely populated, Fekez.
Well, and you know what? It better be because it's had plenty of time to get that way. It's like one of the first ones established here, guy.
It's like, yeah, it kind of been around for a while. If you've been around since the state's inception and you don't have very many people, something went wrong at some point. But for University of Connecticut, of course, representing their fabulous state, they're currently tying it up, but they are, crucially, Fekez, 700 gold behind. Not very impactful, but you can see one of the big places that difference comes is from the bottom lane. Telfer holding it down on the CS count, about a 20 CS lead down there. And that's exactly what you want to have on Jinx, just a slow, passive early game. You farm things up, you get your Infinity Edge, and then you have these things called rocket crits. See, there are 4 champions in League of Legends that have area of effect auto attacks. There's Twisted Fate, Kayle, Malphite, and Jinx. But only one of those champions has auto attacks that crit in an area of effect. So Jinx pretty strong for that reason, and now going to rejoin the rest of you Ottawa to take down the first dragon of the game at just about 15 minutes.
Yeah, and that's actually one of the reasons why Zeke's Herald is such a powerful item to pick up whenever you're supporting a Jinx, is because you get that AoE crit. It implies the Zeke's Herald, or not actually Zeke's Harbinger now, isn't it? Yes. It applies the AoE crit. Very, very powerful item. And it builds armor. It's a very handy item, especially when you're against a team that has a Yasuo and a Tristana. Very handy item to pick up. I expect to see it sometime soon. Builds out of the Glacial Shroud. And wouldn't be a bad pickup at all for Myers going into this mid-game. But yeah, Telfer, he's doing quite well. He just went back and picked up his Infinity Edge. He went back with about 2,300 in his pocket, so he has all the power in the world right now. But they're not really taking advantage of it, and I'm not really sure how that's going to play into the mid game. I feel like there should be an advantage being taken advantage of, and it's not.
All right, well, at least for right now, we're going to see an advantage still in the bottom lane, but really now that this Dragon's come out, that's an overall just stat boost. Infinity Edge, though, is the big power spike that we should probably talk about here for Telfer, which means that together with Myers in the bottom lane, there's not a whole lot you can do besides just kill them outright. And
whoa.
What do you know? As far as killing it outright goes, a lot of champions on the bottom half of the map.
Yeah, they just want everything dead down here right now. There comes a teleport, but you have
to
wonder, is this really worth it?
They're going to go for it. Teleport finishes.
Coming in. Ruru coming in, too. There's Team Medallas. He's getting locked down. He's getting turned into a little critter, but nice ultimate wombo combo coming out from UConn. Everyone's health bar on the side of Ottawa are blinking, but that's it. They're not able to finish it off, and now Ottawa They are turning it around. Jasmine 33 with a crit from Telfer, Sidewinder, gonna be picking up that kill. Harry Abs picking up one on himself as well, for himself as well. Jungler on jungler.
Oh, they're not stopping.
They are not.
Keeping it going underneath the turret.
Nice
Another kill.
Underneath the turret, and now Harry Abs gonna pick up the ace, or maybe not. The exhaust going out, and T-Doll is actually picking up Harry Abs in the end underneath the turret.
So close and so far. Deep dives on both sides, and that's what happens when you overextend versus this Ottawa composition. Underneath the turret, not a great place to fight, as, well, Harry Abs knows, and the entire rest of University of Connecticut, they want to go for that big dive, they want to force this play, but Ottawa prepared for it perfectly. So much protection from Lulu, and the ability to completely turn that team fight around with a great teleport in from Molecat. I was a little bit worried that he was going to finish his teleport and just get completely destroyed, but
yeah,
it really worked out, and that's going to give the first solid advantage of this game to UConn.
Actually, to Ottawa.
To Ottawa.
No problem, no problem. It was a big team fight. I'm a little flustered myself.
Had one job, just like say the right school name. It was like, let me just say the other one real fast. Not quite what I was going for there.
No problem, man. Like I said, that was a big team fight. A lot to be scrambled up in the brain right now. But, oh man, so Molecat, he needs to be careful here because UConn grouping once again, and Ottawa played that so nicely in the bot lane. After the wombo from UConn was done, there was nothing else left. So, very nicely played by Ottawa, turning that one around. And they're just going to maybe try to defend this top lane, but I'll say Molecat, it's like he may just be backing off. The ultimates aren't up right now for... Well, actually,
going in, Molecat.
Yeah, Molecat, he's going to go down underneath the turret. I think he should have just hung around the turret, possibly, but...
Oh my god!
Yeah, there's a wombo on the Harry Abs. That's using everything you have to take down one champion, and they still have to dive him underneath the turret. Prince is not going to go down. Prince Aloysius is going to be able to pick up that kill underneath turret, and that's going to be top lane turret.
Meantime, Uru 1v2ing there in the mid lane, holding it down, getting it on lock, and bottom lane as well. Even with a teleport from Chiruno, maybe in a little bit of trouble. Turret's down to half HP. Nothing is going to stop that top turret from going down. That's going to even up the turret score, or at least it would have, if, wow, double teleports used there. Malphite TPing bottom lane. Yasuo TPing mid. And those are both defensive teleports too, so you're not really going to see offensive plays from Connecticut just yet.
Yeah, and you know, speaking of teleport, this is something I don't think we touched on, is the huge advantage that double teleport has. Of course, both teams are running double teleport, but Ottawa used it offensively, or you know, kind of to re-engage in the bot lane. It was so well played having the double teleports up and ready, where they could just try to split push as much as they can while you know, there was 5 in the bot for UConn, but UConn, they're trying to pull it back, especially with that top lane turret going down. Jasmine is going to be taking a red buff for himself, trying to farm back into this game. He's still 40 CS down. Telfer is out farming him heavily, and now also has a KDA to show it too.
That's one of the big significant things that you can't really take that away. It's like once you get a huge CS score, like CS score, that's a little bit redundant. Once you get a huge creep score, there you go. I mean, that's just a ton of gold. You can't, like, stop that from being effective. So what you can do is kill them. That's a big way to stop anything from being effective. Tristana, a little bit too far out there, trying to keep that mid lane turret alive. Gonna get some reinforcements as she heads back to base for an Infinity Edge of her own.
Yeah, that will help out in team fights for sure, but Phantom Dancer already completed by Telfer, so he's already one full item ahead of Jasmine 33. Doesn't have the boots completed yet, so it's going to be a little bit slower getting around the map. Dragon is going to be up in 5 seconds, and that's where you want to be at the moment. Teleport's up on both champions from Ottawa, so Molecat, he can stay in this top lane, doesn't have to worry about it. Chirino, he's going to make his way down there. Has to take the long way, has to walk. I think he's alright with that. But right now, Dragon is already being started. Actually, maybe he doesn't. He's not going to be alright walking. The Dragon
oh man, flash forced out in the mid lane there. Ururu. He knew it was coming his way and did not want any part of it. Still keeping an eye on the mid lane here as he's running around 1v2, 1v3, poking everything out. Got to keep an eye on top lane though, as well as Molecat ready to take down this third turret of the game and the final remaining outer turret here for Ottawa.
Yeah, meanwhile Ottawa, besides Molecat, creeping into the mid lane, but yeah, Turret down, so that is a bigger gold advantage over to Ottawa right now. And remember, this is a best of 3, so there is a chance if UConn does lose this to come back, but it's still too early to tell. This is, anything could happen still. There's still a big wombo combo on the side of UConn that has paid off. I mean, they're able to hit it. They're just not able to finish off damage afterwards.
Right, so. And that's really the problem. It's like when you run wombo combo comps, you can hit that and then, you know, blow somebody up, but it's not about, like, you know, blowing somebody up. That's kind of, you know, assume that you're going to do that with that much focus. Right. You have to hit enough people. It has to be effective enough. There it is from the backside.
It only hit Aruru, though, and she just wild growth herself out. There's Molecat with the equalizer, the great equalizer, one would call it, but Molecat going into the back line, taking up Dofree. Now everyone is falling on the side of UConn. Ottawa, they are just tearing apart. Everyone on UConn getting in the right positions, taking advantage of the bad positioning from UConn. They are going to pick up 4 for nothing right now, and the mid lane inhibitor turret.
Wow, huge Talisman of Ascension on top of the resets. Just let Telfer run wild in that team fight. Super excited, and I think the rest of Ottawa pretty excited to take down their first inhibitor of the game at 23 minutes. 9-4. Not really the biggest you know, telltale factor here in the game. The biggest one is the 5-1 turret score, where you can really see how aggressive, how, you know, far ahead Ottawa is at this point in time. All going to recall with a ton of money in the bank. Over 2,000 gold for most of the players, 2,500 in Aruru's pockets.
Yeah, and that was a big telling for it. They hit the wombo only on Aruru, who, if you hit a wombo onto anybody, Lulu is not the target you want. And she's wild growth herself out. And yeah, so much pressure just built up. Not, like you said, not a big kill score. It's because for the first like 12 to 15 minutes, this game was very, very, very passive. And then so much happened all at once in the last 5 minutes or so. Dragon and turret and inhibitor going down, all in favor of Ottawa. They are running away with this game so far. 39.6k to 32.1. Huge, huge advantage going over to them. Where do they? What do you go from here? You already have the mid lane inhibitor down.
Well, so to be honest, let's look at where the damage is coming from. It's primarily Telfers, so the idea of picking, you know, the Malphite Yasuo Sejuani is so that it doesn't really matter what kind of wall, what kind of, like, crowd control, what kind of tank line you have. If you land a Malphite ult onto Telfer, she just dies instantly. So not hitting that is really, really important. You saw that in the last fight. Chiruno just couldn't land his ultimate on the right target. So gotta keep an eye on that. Not necessarily, you know, the only way to win the game, but Chiruno is going to be a very, very big part of it.
Yeah, he's very pivotal to that to the wombo combo startup. And what I do like right now, Ottawa, they are establishing control, vision control around this Baron pit. Gonna try to migrate to the top lane, take out that inner top lane turret. As Telfer's in a great position right now, can easily destroy them, and not even going for a last whisper, actually just building another BF sword. More than likely going to go into the Bloodthirster, but there's actually a nice split push coming out from Molecat. He still has his teleport. He didn't even use his teleport last fleet fight, I don't think, did he? Pretty sure he didn't.
No, he did not. So we've got double teleports up for both teams. That means that you really, really have to clear out these wards. Really good by Ottawa to say, hey, a couple of wards here, clear them out. Definitely want to protect their flanks as they continue to push up this top lane, looking for a second tier turret. The turret not really able to be defended here with really only the bottom lane there from Connecticut. So that's a pretty easy turret takedown, and now all outer turrets taken down. 7-1. Ottawa really snowballing their lead home.
Yeah, now they're not even going to be worrying about Baron because they know they have the split push pressure from Molecat, and with the teleport up, they can just keep pressuring this top lane and possibly get an inhibitor turret from out of Molecat. This is a fantastic play, but here comes a teleport in behind Aruru.
Yeah, we're going to...
But Chiruno, he's there by himself, and that teleport is now wasted, and there's no front line or back line to get to.
Oh, T-Dollars.
AKA money, or T-Money, I should say. It's getting brought down, but the Unbreakable will. Going to help him out quite a bit, but not enough. Molecat picking up that kill. He was also smited to death too, but thanks to Harry Abs.
Always sucks to die to smite. It's just like, hey, I'm going to bop you on the head right now.
Looks cool.
It does, it does. So it's going to be up to Chiruno now. You don't have Alistar. It's a big detriment, but it's not game over just yet. Telfer, you could see really feeling this zone of control against Malphite. So looking for the engage. Needs to be at least like, 2-3 man knockup, and it has to catch Telfer. So as long as he looks for something else, turret going down, this is not going to be a good place to fight.
Yeah, UConn, they just cannot engage onto this. They don't have the confidence to engage all the way to the back lines. It's like you said, they need to catch Telfer, and there's a big front line in Aruru and Harry Abs just blocking them pass. So very nicely played by Ottawa. And you also have Myers in the back line set up, so if they do get to the back lines, you can automatically just ult them away and hopefully keep Telfer alive. Still has both the summoners up as well, so that was a very safe play by Ottawa. And they're both, they're all going to go back. And let's see, UConn, they may get desperate here and try to rush the Dragon. Or not Dragon, Baron, rather. Maybe.
Maybe. Let's see.
Maybe.
Scuttle Crab going down, that'll give some vision around that area, but pings on the Dragon. 2 Dragons out of 2, both going to University of Ottawa. So that means that if they get this third one, extra move speed, more map mobility, it's definitely what they want to go ahead and grab for themselves. And with 2 inhibitors down, Dragon even on the bottom half of the map, so it's going to be exactly what the doctor ordered. But some big buys starting to come out. That's going to be Rumble, Molecat buying a Void Staff, Leandries, and Zonias. That guy is so strong. He's up over 60 CS over his lane opponent.
Yeah, he's going to be burning through any magic resist that's picked up, which, I mean, they have over on the side of UConn. They have an Aegis the Legion, and I think Shiruno, he just bought a Spear of Visage. But now it barely even matters between Leandries and Void Staff coming out from Molecat. It's not even going to be relevant at this point. Dragon going to go down, 3rd Dragon of the game. He said, helping get that movement speed on their side. And now, I mean, they could just shove up 4 Baron. The mid lane inhibitor has spawned back. So, Ottawa, they have some targets. They just got to choose which one they want to take. And it looks like UConn think they're going to go for Baron. Trying to guard around it, get some vision control around it. It looks like Ottawa trying to gain it back.
Yeah, it's going to be all about vision. You can see some really well-placed pink wards, one in the Baron pit to make sure there's nothing there, and one to clear any other vision outside. And you can see, yeah, perfect job here by Myers. Really solid vision control, both in placing wards and removing them. So let's keep an eye on the mid lane. That's where the action's at. This middle inhibitor has respawned. So it does look like that's the play here, but don't want to overextend into here. Prince Alushi completely whips his ultimate. The knockup from Tidala is not even that good, and now Chiruno's gonna die. No more knockups aside from Yasuo himself, and this is just kind of going from bad to worse.
He is on the run. He has to flash out. It's not gonna matter because he's being chased by Harry Abs, and now underneath the inhibitor, or at least around the inhibitor, he can't really be underneath something you're taller than. Telfer able to take out Prince Alushi pretty easily there, and just for good measure, Aruru is going to pick up T-Dollar, aka T-Money, and that will probably be the game. Gonna have to go into game number 2. What does UConn have to do to turn this around?
It's not necessarily over just yet, but with turrets dropping, it should be very soon. The Nexus under fire, Super Mega Death Rocket blocked. That's not going to be the way you win the game. But the Nexus falling, well, huge knock up there. That's the Wombo combo, but it's just a little bit too late. And at 30 minutes in, with a 4-13 score victory, we'll go to University of Ottawa. UConn definitely needing to step it up and maybe bring a stronger Wombo combo comp to the next game, or find some way to make it work.
Well, yeah, because they hit a couple of Wombos early on that they. If you had a chance to win at any point in this game, it would have been early on. And they hit them, but they weren't able to really finish off the kills. And then Ottawa just turned it around. And UConn, they were on the back foot ever since that bot lane tower dive. So definitely, yeah, I would definitely change up the strategy for the next game.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break before we come back with game number 2. University of Ottawa versus University of Connecticut. We'll have that game and a whole lot more coming your way after a short commercial break. So don't go anywhere. Stick around and we'll be right back with more CSL. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Collegiate Star League's League of Legends season for 2015. My name is Reed Rapid Melton, and joining me tonight once again is Joshua Fekez Quest, and we are coming back with game number 2. Game number 2 of University of Connecticut versus University of Ottawa Champion Select underway.
Yeah, interesting bands coming out already. So I'll be completely upfront on my PC crashed last game. I didn't actually get to see the picks and bands last time, but Thrush and Soraka band out. I feel like after that first game, UConn should be thinking about other bands besides Soraka possibly.
Yeah, now we are going to go with very similar picks and bans, so wouldn't be a surprise to see the exact same ones. We're still seeing the Soraka banned away from Myers, no questions about that, and that does mean that we are going to look for a another focus on Harryab's jungle pool. Last time it was the Rek'Sai and Kindred banned away, but this time Kindred's left open.
Yeah, we'll see what's up. Yeah, I did actually. Okay, yeah, I did remember that Kindred was banned out. Did get a little bit of a glimpse, but didn't get to see the order in which it happened. And yeah, Kindred is up. That would be really interesting. I've been playing a lot of Kindred lately. Kindred is an extremely fun, extremely mobile champion, jungler champion. I can get super powerful into the late game once you start stacking up your Spirit of the Kindred. So it'll be interesting to see what Myers picks first here. You have plenty to pick from, though, as nothing too huge was banned out, besides just focus on some jungle pools and some support pools, but Lulu is going to be the first one picked up here. Going back onto Ruru, more than likely.
Ruru on Lulu. Makes a little bit of sense there. By a little bit, I mean a very little bit. But it's going to be the first pick, and definitely a very strong first pick. You see that first picked and banned a lot in even the top levels in competitive play. Saw that a couple times at Worlds. It's just very important to lock that one down, especially in the mid lane position. Although we did see it top a couple of times, not to really great effect though. So let's take a look at the rest of the picks here. Going back over to Connecticut, what are we going to see here? Because they tried running the Wombo combo composition. It didn't work out necessarily. They picked for their team comp, not for their lanes, and they got just a little bit too far behind to really make the picks that they needed to.
It was such a passive game last game that, I mean, it wasn't so bad that they just picked for their team, the team comps, because they weren't going in and dedicating themselves to any kind of 1v1 fight, so it wasn't so bad. But they're going to go with a very similar team comp as last time. Tristana and Sejuani picked up here for Jasmine 33 and Prince Aloysius, respectively. So far, I mean, they're not changing anything up. Rapid, I don't know about that one, man.
Yeah, nothing changed, but at the same time, whoa, okay, no Nunu locked in there. The Nunu pick, I don't know if you remember back when Nunu was super strong. You'd see him top lane, you'd see him support, and it was so annoying. But just gonna kind of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Go back with the same exact team composition. Myers gonna get the Janna pickup and already protect the Jinx comp in the works.
So the only thing that's different here that could potentially be different so far is the Elise. It is banned out. I just don't think UConn should run the same comp. I don't know about that one. I feel like there's a lot more power in the jungle than Sejuani that's left up right now. I mean, but they do have an idea. What's that?
It's looking exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's not UConn, it's UComp. It's the name of it. It's the UComp, where you just pick everything that just goes straight into the middle of the enemy team. I'm surprised we don't see more like super hard engaged. Although I would be a little bit skeptical to see Malphite picked once again here. It works kind of the same way, but at least with Sejuani, you can have more of a like set up hard crowd control than focusing just on knockups for the Yasuo that really never got going, at least not to the same degree that Jinx was empowered on. And yeah, here we go. That's what I like to see. Not necessarily knockups for a Yasuo comp, but just tons of hard crowd control, and that Blitzcrank being locked in. I was actually looking on Twitter for what a lot of challenger players were starting to say about the way that the game is going. Some of them started to say, I think it was C9 Sheep that said, hey, Blitzcrank might actually be a better support now than Thresh. Maybe not in like competitive play, but certainly in solo queues. So liking to see the Blitzcrank, a little bit of a knock-up action there, but the Veigar is the big pick to watch out for.
Yeah, and whenever you don't have a Yasuo on your side, you don't need any of that Wombo. Now, what really does work out here is the Glacial Prison along with the Event Horizon from for the Sejuani and Veigar. That's going to work out very well together. I'm very anxious to see how that works. And also, T-Dollars, if that combo happens, he has all the time in the world to just kind of roam around, pick whoever he wants. But on the other side, Molecat, he's going to be locking in the Darius, so we're going to see some dunks in that top lane. I'm excited, along with the Olaf, possibly in the jungle, I suppose. I guess that would be a jungle. I don't think we'd be seeing a jungle Darius here.
I mean, jungle Darius, not for sure his strongest role. But yeah, with the Olaf locked in, that's definitely much more probable. Olaf, one of the junglers that actually can kind of get that hard carry going on. You just chain those axes one into another, and it's a little bit difficult. We'll see if he builds aggressive Olaf with Warrior Enchanter, goes for the tanky one. Should see tankiness just because this isn't about Olaf, it's about Jinx. But
Right.
the Darius, much stronger power pick in the top lane for the lane presence, not quite for the counter engage and teleport presence that we saw from Molcat in Game 1 on Rumble.
Yeah, and if you want to go up for the presence, it's hard first picking him because then you get somebody like Gnar thrown in your face, and you wonder, it's like, oh, I kind of hate my life. I'm just gonna get boomeranged and kited. And yeah, Dofra, he's going to be locking that one in for Chiruno. So that's going to be a Gnar versus a Darius in the top lane. So, I mean, where do you think the strength is here? Obviously, we saw Ottawa's power. We saw Ottawa's mechanical skill in the last game. UConn, they're not bad players. I feel like they just kind of got caught up in a team comp that wasn't feeling it last game. What do you think of this one now?
I think this one looks a lot more solid just in as far as diversity goes for University of Connecticut. They've got a lot more win conditions, namely Veigar hypercarry, Tristana hypercarry, and a big high CC tank line in front of them. There's definitely a possibility that they'll be able to lock down Ottawa for long enough to where they can be able to let their hypercarries hypercarry and won't have to worry about them getting taken down. However, into this super hard CC composition, Harry Abs has picked Olaf, who doesn't afraid of anything as far as crowd control is concerned. And with there's still a lot of protection for Telfer's Jinx, this could get a little bit hairy for Ottawa.
I see what you did there. So speaking of Harry, Olaf and Alulu, Wild Growth Ragnarok, that's extremely scary as well. So
I thought you were going to make a Hogwarts joke out of that.
No.
My bad. But like you said, Harry Abs, really scary. Might want to turn his name into Scary Abs, especially with Halloween this past weekend.
Well, I mean, let's face it, before we go to commercial break, I just want to point out, if you have Harry Abs in your face, it usually is scary. Of course, unless you're into that thing, I don't really judge. But
whatever blows your hair back, man.
Exactly.
All right, we got to take a quick commercial break before we get into any more trouble here. But quick shout out to our sponsors here, Brain Gear, Twitch, and Alpha Draft. Thanks to them for letting us do what we love to do. Big thanks to you guys for tuning in. Stick around, we'll be right back after a short commercial break with game number 2 between University of Connecticut and Ottawa coming up next. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to CSL's 2015 League of Legends season. I'm gonna stick to casting. My singing career is not where it's at. But welcome back. My name is Rapid. With me is Fekez, and of course, all of you wonderful people. Thanks for tuning in to some collegiate esports. It's where all the cool kids hang out. So, gonna see University of Ottawa now swapping over to the blue side. They're going to be bringing the pain and a whole lot of other icons as they go for a 5-man jungle invade into University of Connecticut's jungle.
Yeah, they definitely are looking to bring the pain, and I don't think anyone on UConn have spotted them out yet, so they are in here pretty stealthy. I don't know. UConn, they're setting up for something, but I don't know if they know what. I think they were anticipating maybe a red invade, but it's not happening. And it looks like Ottawa... They're going to try to catch somebody out, but I don't know. This is interesting. Both teams just kind of at a standstill right now. We're just going to go back.
All right. I was like,
Actually, there's no trinket picked up by T-Dollars, by the way. Just want to point that one out.
I mean, definitely one of the reasons you kind of want to go back is to support. I always feel like you should at least have one ward, even if it's just your trinket.
Oh.
They're thinking about it. Oh, no, this could be absolutely horrible. The ward over the wall. This. It's cleared out, but is Chiruno...
All right, well, that was anticlimactic.
No, it's first CS of the game, man.
Yeah. It's always positive. Ooh, that's actually pretty big. Chiruno is actually going to be stopped going back, so he is going to get to lane a little bit late.
I mean, Ururu is already laning right now. He
yeah.
pieced that team fight immediately. It was like, all right, you guys do your thing over here. I'm going to stick to farming up some minions in the mid lane, trying to steal away just a little bit, and actually able to take that tiny little blue sentinel minion away.
Yeah, that was a very nice grab from T-Dollars to get the blue buff back under their control and just drive back Ottawa, knowing that it was going to be a little bit too much time taken to do so at that point in the game. So actually, it looks like Ottawa might be a little bit behind now due to that kind of dedication to the blue buff. T-Dollars denial. Very nicely played by T-Dollars, aka T-Money.
Looking for the farm in the mid lane from Veigar is what you want to see just over and over again. Clearing out the minion wave, getting his Q up there, and as far as Lulu goes, great champion to pick into Veigar. You've got auto attack harass that scales off of ability power. You've got the ability to buff up Jinx later on, and if Veigar tries to blow somebody up, you just give him a good 1000 HP. Everything's good from there on out.
Yeah, I really like the Lulu pick. A lot of people do say she's a little lackluster on the entertainment value, but it's such a great pick, a great flex pick. But I'll get to that in a second, because it looks like Prince Olushi is coming into the mid lane. Event Horizon going to be locking in a Ruru there. He has Flash, going to be popping it. Glitter Lance, nowhere to be found. I believe he used it in just a moment. Meanwhile, on the bot lane, Myers will take quite a bit of damage onto himself, but he has plenty of biscuits to start nomming onto to recover himself. But big story in the mid lane. Flash down for Ururu.
Yeah, full utility masteries for both supports, both of them taking the extra gold so that they can buy 4 potions instead of just 3. For Myers, he put those all into total biscuits of rejuvenation, but Blitzcrank's super mana hungry after his most recent changes, so he's going to put a mana potion in there if he decides to want to grab things out a little bit more.
So back in the top lane. Chiruno, yeah, like I said, he got a little bit better on that double jungle end because of the less time wasted. So he has quite a bit of a CS advantage already at 19 to 11. Let's see if he can keep that. And he's actually going more offensive. So Molcat reluctant to go heavily in onto this one. He's not able to poke out Chiruno yet. T-Dollars, he gets a hook. Nice hook landing onto Myers. More damage going to be put onto him. It's going to be blocked a little bit by the shield, but not enough. Meanwhile, Harry Abs gets a steal, but he's also getting caught. Is it going to be enough?
He's not level 6, so
he
might actually be able to turn this one around on Prince Olushi.
Nice. True damage, and there's Molcat. True damage and the undertow coming out heavily for Harry Abs, and that is why you pick an Olaf into a Sejuani. Nice hook onto Telfer in the bot lane. I swear I'll stop talking in a moment because this action will calm down pretty soon. Exhaust going down on both ADCs. Telfer has to flash out, so he is a flash down on a Jinx. T-Dollars, aka T-Money, getting minion block there, but he's going to make it out. No problem. Eat some biscuits. Be fine.
Right, and even with that flash and summoner heal used by Telfer, good summoner spell usage, not just because they save his life, but also because they put him in a great position here in the lane. Got a high HP, a support with very high HP as well, and that means that you can leverage that ability, or that those stats very well in lane. You just have to make sure you don't get grabbed again, because he won't have any more summoner spells to get him out of that sticky situation.
Yeah, so a little bit more action early on in this game than last game. Already saw, I've seen a first blood. And a couple summoners down. T-Dollars, aka T-Money, landed another grab onto Telfer. He doesn't have flash this time. Nice tornado by Myers, denying the pounce from Jasmine 33, but still a lot of damage onto Telfer.
You know, I would never accept a friend request from someone named Jasmine 33. I see that like pop up on my Skype, and I'm just like, eh.
Hey, big boy.
Yeah,
chat?
not gonna go with that. But speaking of chatting, down in the bottom lane, Veigar wants a conversation. He's gonna come down, farm some minions.
Yeah.
That's my kind of gank right there. If I'm Veigar, I'm just like, hey guys, I'm gonna come gank your lane, but you secretly are just there to gank the CS.
There you go. Yeah, and he won't even charge 99 cents a minute for it like Jasmine 33 would. He'll just go down and he's like, I just
well, technically, isn't it Myers that has the most expensive price per minute? Because you have the Janna taunt.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. There you go.
Top lane, hop away there. Molcat will pull Chiruno back in.
Has a level advantage.
It's level 6. Yeah, that's actually a pretty big deal. For Chiruno, though, as a Nard versus Darius, as long as you're in mini-Nard, it's a pretty big advantage. Not only do you have the ability, oh man, Dofree walking up to the mid lane. There's a preemptive Lulu ult.
There's Harry Abs. He's going to go in on a Dofree, but Undertow coming in. Is he going to dive this one? No, he can't get the reckless swing onto Dofree.
Close.
Big body block coming out.
Well, Harry Abs was only level 6, or only level 5. If he was level 6, they might have gone for it, but no ability to avoid all that crowd control.
T-Dollars there. Looking for a hook. He's been pretty dynamite with his hooks on the bot lane, trying to bring that kind of that big boom into the mid lane. Harry Abs. Spot him out. Yeah, with Harry Abs not being level 6, you can still grab him and be fine.
Yeah, Harry Abs, we've been talking about him a lot. I mentioned it earlier. If you guys are a big fan of his, he'll be playing on Frostbite in the HTC Ascension tournament. But you can also maybe make sure to take a few looks at the support for you, Ottawa. Flawless Esports Myers, his ability to protect Telfer in every single one of these situations, it just can't be overstated. When your team is, or at least in the last game, very, very important that the hyper carry has a good lane phase, and half that is the support. Myers helped Telfer get a huge, like 30 CS lead out of lane, and you're starting to see that develop once again, about 10 CS in lane advantage, give or take. Looking to leverage that a little bit more down there. But for Ottawa, or for UConn, their biggest strengths are going to come from, I want to say, the mid lane. It's not going super well for them as much as Dofree is trying to farm things up. He really just has not been able to make that work. He's roamed a couple times that haven't been effective, and is just starting to fall a little bit further behind. Although he will get a blue buff that should help him a little bit in lane.
Yeah, can he get it? Yeah, he will get it. Okay. Yeah, should help him out. And, I mean, he's against a Lulu. Lulu is such a bully. It doesn't seem like it, you know, given the innocent little look that she has there, but it's so easy to poke from afar and to zone out as well. So hard to get a kill onto a Lulu. Also, we've seen this entire game. Now back on the bot lane, you were talking about Myers. He went undefeated he went unkilled last game as well. So he knows exactly how to play the support the way a support is supposed to be played. He didn't take any kills, he got only assists. Very nice play last game by Myers. That's why we're seeing this repeat bot lane of the Jinx and Janna, but... Well, I know that the hook didn't land in anything. Never mind.
So to say, nothing in the mid lane, bottom lane, Gank's not really working out so far for either team, really. And that first blood, sure, it was it was the jungler that got it, but it wasn't off of a gank. It was Harry Abs just going for the invade. Grab onto Myers. Perfect timing. Nice Monsoon. Flash forced out. Teleport coming down to the bottom lane. A nice knock up there from that tornado. And here comes Molcat. Knocked away, but does have the damage down. Where's the dunk? Super Mega Death Rocket. And there's the pull. Molcat. One of those three. He's in there for the second kill for Ottawa.
Yeah, very nice. And there comes that double teleport.
Another grab!
But Myers getting hooked through the wall. There's nothing to follow it up, though. So that's very unfortunate for T Dollars.
Man, Myers woke up with like magnets in his pockets or something. Keeps getting grabbed. He's like, "What's? Oh no, the teleport Dofree! He's gonna get out."
Harry Abs doesn't have any CC.
And he just teleports away to the turret. Nice. That's how I get out of my my Olaf ganks right there.
Yeah, that's the advantage of not having, or not, teleporting away from somebody who doesn't have any CC. But yeah, very nice double teleport coming out from Ottawa once again. They did it last game, did it again in the bot lane, same as last game, did it in the bot lane this time around too. And not as huge of a fight that time for them, but still got a kill onto Molcat, who, on the Darius, you definitely want kills on him. That guy can be a beast if you let him become one.
Prince Alushi having some struggles up here. That Krug, it's like super Krug. It's like Hulk Krug.
Oh, he's going to rocket grab him back into the event horizon. Aruru. Wild Growth comes up, but Dofree doesn't actually have his primordial burst yet. And he's just going to back up. Aruru, he's going to make it out. So a lot used to try to pick up Lulu, but nothing gained.
Man, for as many grabs as T-Dollars, aka Team Money, is landing...
Guy's beast on that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he's doing a great job. Unfortunately, there's just no capitalization on there. It's like if you were writing a letter to someone and you just never used uppercase. Because there's no capitalization. You gotta be able to follow up on all that, not...
That was actually really good. It's just I feel dumb for not getting that at first.
Well, I figure if this is the Collegiate Star League, we should at least work in as many grammar pun references as possible.
Well, you're doing your historical puns too in your.
Oh, that's true. That's true. We got U.S. history. We got English class. We're teaching it all. This is basically educational, guys. So if you want to watch this in like class, if you're like going to night school, you'd be like, "Hey, teacher, we got to get some education." Oh, the perfect knockup and a grab. What?
Very nice. Yeah, very nice grab and knockup. T-Dollars, aka T-Money, he's going to be locked down now. No crit from Telfer, but he gets one more rocket, and that's going to be enough. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Molcat getting just beaten down by Chiruno. And is it going to be enough? He misses the last rock.
174 health heal there by Molcat on his decimate. All right, man. Darius, he's pretty good at League of Legends. Yeah. He knows how to play it.
Yeah, that's the thing when you pick Darius. Molcat, great player. Darius, he's just good in general. But anyway, Aruru, they're trying to gank him once again. Wild Growth is up once again, but so is Primordial Burst. Actually, no, Primordial Burst has just a couple seconds left, so they're just going to wait it out. Dofree picking up that one finally with the Primordial Burst.
Yeah, it was like, do I really want to ult this? Just go with a sure thing. That's the big change to Veigar. It used to be that his Q was a click spell, so you just click it on the champion and then you farm it up that way. But now it's a skill shot. So maybe on the previous version of Veigar, you would have seen him just pick up the kill with Q because it's guaranteed. But now just wanted to go with a sure thing. Click on him with Primordial Burst, and that is the first kill of the game for Veigar, who was also caught back up in CS as well. So it's really boding well for University of Connecticut.
And that blue buff early on really helped him out, and that's the first kill of the game for UConn. They didn't fare too well in the last game, and by this time last game, they were actually getting starting to get the snowball out of control for Ottawa. So this time around, it's looking a little bit better in the early game, and part of that because of T-Dollars, aka T-Money. He's been landing these incredible hooks, and there's a lot of focus in the mid lane, but unfortunately, with the hooks from T-Dollar, hasn't been followed up, as you said, hasn't been capitalized upon. But he's going to try it again. They're focusing so much on Aruru.
Oh my god. And they get the grab.
Hook. Knock up. Hook. There's the static field for silence. No Wild Growth, even if it was up, because he's silenced, you can't cast when you are on mute.
Some people asking, Baleful Strike, 86 stacks on that at 14 minutes. Actually a little bit behind. About 15-20 minutes, you want to be up around, 100, 150 if you're like really farmed. So gonna be hard-pressed to meet that mark. Chiruno back up to the top lane after committing that pressure mid. Trying to save this top lane turret, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. A lot of presence coming back up to the top half of the map, and Chiruno about to transform into Meganar.
Yeah, he's going to get there, but is it going to be enough with the team following up? Harry Ab's up there as well, so they need to be careful. Dofree thought he was going to be going up top lane, but he's actually just going to back off, go back to mid lane, seeing that Molcat is pressing the issue in the mid lane. Nice hook from T-Dollar, not surprised. Meyer, he's going to get chunked down and melted. Chiruno picking up that kill, but now on the run because Aruru is there. Nice counter ult from Prince Luishi, but Harry Ab still picking up the kill with the reckless swing, and he's actually going to be growthed into the wild by
Dofree back up to top lane. There's the flash through. Harry Abs getting perfectly wild growth. There's Primordial Burst for the kill. Molcat teleporting in just a little bit too slow. The flash grab doesn't land. Heartbreaking there for Ottawa as they let a couple of pretty guaranteed kills just narrowly out of their grasp.
They do get the tower though, so that it was their mission all around, was to get that top lane turret. They did give up some kills, and thanks in part to T Dollars, who's just been so perfect with these hooks. I can't appreciate his hooks enough. Right. But in the bot lane, Jasmine 33 answering that tower with one of his own. So tower's still the same, one spread, 2-3 this time around.
Yeah, Lulu just so good into Blitzcrank, though. As great as it feels as Blitzcrank to land big grabs on high priority targets, you're basically pulling an area of effect knockup into your team. It's also an area of effect slow as well from Lulu's wild growth. And there are two targets that you just can't grab in Darius and Olaf. You actually physically can't grab Olaf because he can just Ragnarok out of it. And for Darius, you don't want to pull him into the enemy into the middle of your team because he's just going to get his bleed stacks all the way up on you and then start the resets from there. So we'll see how well T-Dollars, aka T-Money, works out on this Blitzcrank, because he is actually having a phenomenal game despite his 0-2-3 score.
Yeah, once UConn starts getting to the position, especially Dofree, once they can get to the position where they can capitalize on the hooks, it's going to be so much better. Dragon is up though. First one did go over to Ottawa. They're looking for the second one of the game, and I don't think it's going to be contested by UConn, as everyone is pretty much split off. Chiruno, he is split pushing the top lane. No teleport up from Ottawa to answer it back, so he's going to get quite a bit of damage onto that top lane inner turret.
Right, and that's actually a really good decision there by Chiruno to say, hey, go for the sure thing. Might not be able to commit to that dragon, but it can at least get some guaranteed damage done on this second tier turret in the top lane. He's about to transform into Meganar, so we will have to back on out of there as Molcat arrives, but still making the best out of a bad situation, and not really even a bad situation. There's only about 1,000 gold difference between these two teams. We talked about some of the win conditions for Connecticut, one of them being Veigar. Well, all of a sudden, 3-0-0, 119 CS. That Veigar is actually putting in some work. Dofree now up to about 107 stacks on that Baleful Strike.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what you have to do with the Veigar. Just focus on that late game. First, there's a hook missing, just barely. But the mid lane turret does go down in favor of Ottawa, so all outer lane turrets down for both teams. Ottawa, they still have a slight gold advantage though, mostly due to Harry Abs and Telfer right now. Especially Telfer, he still has that CS advantage that he had like last game, so he's out farming Jasmine twice so far. But Jasmine, he's not going to let that slow him down. His mid lane's doing a lot better this time around, and he does have a pretty awesome support on the Blitzcrank this time around in T-Dollars. So just waiting for that one hook that now that Dofree can more than likely blow up anybody that gets pulled.
Some big buys, though, starting to transpire here from University of Ottawa. You got Harry Abs' big Giants belt picked up, and he might probably looking for a Black Cleaver of his own. But really, it's going to be a Talisman of Ascension picked up there by Myers. Black Cleaver already had been completed by Molcat, and the big Infinity Edge with extra crit from Zeal, that is going to be absolutely huge. And even actually absolutely huger in the preseason when some of these crit changes go through for an Infinity Edge Phantom Dancer and that kind of combo.
Yeah.
It'll be a special time to be alive.
I was about to say, that'll be a special time for us. I was actually going to use the same word for same term, special. It's definitely going to be interesting, but for now, we are still on the current Worlds patch. So.
5.21. Yeah, preseason patch is going to be absolutely mental. Preseason patching is going to be pretty much the equivalent to the LPL playoffs, China's national playoffs that were held on the first iteration of the Juggernaut patch, where everything was, crazy clown fiestas everywhere. It's like you pick these champions and you win. You don't get these champions, you don't. It's going to be really, really exciting. Some of the big changes coming out. So excited for that, but we're not there yet. We have to get through this best of 3, and Ottawa already one game through it. See if they can get any further. Oh, the grab in onto Harry Abs doesn't steal the blue.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you land a grab, but if you're by yourself and you do that onto an Olaf, you're gonna die. Harry Abs picking up that kill.
And the attempted steal there from Telfer. Telfer's like, hold on, guys, I'm almost there. Let me get that buff. It's like, but Blitzcrank doesn't have a buff. It's like, oh, yeah. Still let me get it. No, not going to happen. But it's a nice pick-off nonetheless. Nobody to grab you underneath turrets. So that sets up for a decent siege here in the mid lane as Ottawa starting to press it down. Need a minion wave, though.
Yeah, that's far behind. That is one of the best advantages of whenever you're being sieged upon by having a Vigar on your team is you can stop the minion wave with your event horizon and then just throw down the dark matter and almost eliminate them. It's extremely easy to clear a wave with a Vigar, and Hook is going to bring that minion into their life, so they just want to kill it. It was a bad minion. Going to throw that one back. Actually, and to back this time, I mean to hell. They just threw him to hell because the minion died.
I always wondered where minions went.
Where
did they come from?
I was actually... Oh, fun fact about me while there's a lull point. Okay, I actually do really enjoy riding. Fun fact, Fekez 101. I really enjoy writing. I don't do it often enough, but at one time I was writing a story about minion manufacturing and like their life and why they have gold and all these things. But we'll get to that in a second because there's a nice hook.
Perfect hook onto Myers. Big disengage from the Monsoon though. And Harry Abs, big jump in from Chiruno.
Oh, big Gnar ultimate onto Meyer and Aruru. Chiruno though, he's still in a bad situation because no one was there to follow it up. Dofree still has Primordial Burst.
The flash from Molecat.
Oh, now the Undertow as well is going to be slicing him up into oblivion. Now Prince Lwishy going down as well. 4 for nothing, and that is going to be a Baron going over to Ottawa.
Ottawa's actually pretty low health. I'm not sure this is necessarily the best option. Definitely turnaround potential if Blitzcrank can get in there fast enough. No home guards, though, so Blitzcrank won't really be a big effect. And yeah, with Lulu shields, should be a decent Baron attempt here. Well, like I said, pretty low. Teleport's actually coming in from Gnar. Oh my goodness. Baron should die here, but here comes Chiruno. Oh. Zap out there. Gotta look for some kills. Blitzcrank with a big grab. Chiruno trying to jump out.
I just want to point out Myers actually got that Baron. That was Myers' Baron. That was so
putting up some work.
So just nerve-wracking. Ruru gonna barely get out.
Just barely, and he's gonna teleport immediately back in. He's not stopping. He's clocking in for a 10-hour shift to Ruru. Back in the action, but won't find much in the way.
That's just establishing dominance. He wasn't going to get anything. He was like, but I can do it, and I will. Now he's just going to empower the mid lane minions and shove them into the mid lane turret, wait for his team to get there, and more than likely take this mid lane turret, inner turret. But Dragon is actually going to be up in about 2 seconds, and there is a ward on, a pink ward actually from Ottawa down there, so they have clear vision of it.
Talking about the vision game a little bit, that's something Myers has really brought to the team, is controlled all the high priority warding locations. Oh, Ururu.
He's good. He's
doing
got a Molecat behind him.
Yeah, hashtag things Lulu does. Just runs around.
It's not Lulu, that's a Ruru.
Is annoying. Yeah, that's true. It's a Ruru's Lulu.
Ruru is so...
Just call him Radu there in the mid lane. He's controlling the waves, keeping it pushed up, zoning out the enemy team, and that's Baron number 3, so extra movement speed secured. There for University of Ottawa.
And now it's going to be hard for Dofree to try to clear these waves, especially when he's not at the turret, so this may be a inner turret going down if Telfer can get into position. He's so afraid of T-Dollars, though. T-Dollars showing the track record. He's going to speed up, but slow back down. Steaming Golem doesn't gather any rust, but he certainly does run out of steam once in a while.
University of Ottawa kind of shaking things up here. With a 1-0 lead and 11-4 score here, speaking of shaking things up, Ottawa, did you know, actually built on a fault line. That's why there are tons of earthquakes and stuff there. I think the last one was about 10-15 years ago, but still.
I feel like every good place is built on fault lines because, you know, California, there's also the St. Madrid's Fault over here. Well, not over where I'm at, but a little bit north. I feel like there's a lot of good places around the fault lines. I don't understand why they build on fault lines, but, you know, that's why I don't go into architecture. Nice Event Horizon catching out Telfer and Harry Abs.
Oh,
nice
but a big
grab onto Ruru, but it's a Lulu, and he's taking turret damage, so he is going to go down. Nice Iron
Oh
Prison
my
comes
gosh! Chiruno!
and Chiruno knocking everyone back with the Meganar ultimate, and now double kill coming out from Jasmine. He's going to get the reset. He's going to try to hop to Myers. And you get him now. Myers is going to walk away. A very nice catch coming out from UConn.
Yeah, beautifully played there. Chiruno got the jump in. Perfect Meganar timing there as well. Hit the Gnar ultimate. I have to add the exclamation mark because you can't just say Gnar because you don't know is it the ultimate, is the champion. But it's got the exclamation mark on it, and it was so impactful at turning that fight around. 3 kills just solely off of landing that one. I think it was actually 2 because Myers did escape there, but Aruru getting pulled in, went from bad to worse there as Chiruno finished off the rest of it. And once again, gotta respect the T-Money, aka T-Dollars grabs. Those things have been on point this whole game.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. And that was a nice follow-up, too. They actually stopped the wild growth from coming in and being a huge effect by the glacial prison, or, you know, steel prison if you want to. Iron prison, actually, I usually call it, but with that skin, but it doesn't matter. Ruru was locked underneath the turret, but now the health bars are low on the side of UConn. Wave is coming up in their favor. Harry Abs can actually just tank this one. It looks like Molcat's actually going to do that honor and just take this inner mid lane turret, try to even up the turrets. Mid lane inhibitor is exposed for UConn, so they have to be careful, but they're going to migrate into the top lane, seeing that no one is there, and try to rush that turret down as well. But even without Baron, they don't care. They're going to try to this.
Yeah, Baron worn off here. Ottawa still, though, putting the pressure on. They are up 3 dragons to 0, but the turrets are actually tied after that big push down the mid lane. So actually pretty impressive. That one, team fight loss at the second tier mid lane turret for Ottawa meant that they lost every single turret in their mid lane. Now with an open inhibitor, I could possibly start to shake things up a little bit. Once again, going back to my earthquake metaphor.
Yeah, then they also lost the Baron buff, which still had a little bit on it, so yeah, they really need to respect the T-Dollars, aka T-Money. Telfer, he was trying to avoid everything. Aruru, he's been getting grabbed almost all game, knowing that he can just wild growth, but this time it's a little bit too much underneath the turret, so we'll see how they react to that one coming into this next grouping. Both Dragon and Baron are going to be up at about the same time, so this is going to be a real interesting dance, because if one team goes for one, the other team is going to go for the other, I feel.
That's right, we're starting to see some pretty big items being bought for Connecticut now. You've got the combo there for Gnar, Randuin's, and a Black Cleaver. Sometimes if you're really selfish and want to build for lane, you build Frozen Mallet instead, but Randuin's own definitely better for team fights, and I think that's where a lot of the strength for Connecticut lies, is letting Ottawa siege up on them and then trying to turn it around like they did previously.
Yeah, and this is still anyone's game. It's actually, the goal gap isn't near as telling as it should be, or as it usually is. 7K, or actually I will say 6K gold difference right now in favor of Ottawa, but turrets are even. Mid lane inhibitor is exposed for Ottawa. We'll see who goes for what here, because with double teleports, both teams could actually cover both sides now that I think about it. That's one of the advantages of having the double teleport. So you get so much global pressure that way. And it looks like Molcat trying to draw Chiruno's attention in the top lane. Gonna try to pick up that top lane inner turret. What's gonna happen here? He's gonna decimate him. Telfer's there now as well. Brings it back in with the apprehend. Now it's just gonna be a 5-man dive, and that turret is gonna go down. That's how you take down a turret.
Yeah, no questions about that. Nice flank from behind there. Harry Abs putting it on point. Look at this Harry Abs build too. He's got Sterax Gauge on top of Dead Man's Plate. Still looking for that Black Cleaver to come out as well. That is a very high damage Olaf build. We'll see if it's enough. He's going to run forward, land those Chain Axes, teleport coming in.
Teleport is aka T Dollar, aka T Dollar, aka T Money going down. Harry Abs finally got that out just in the right time. Molecat may be coming back down as well. Primordial Burst gonna be bursting him into oblivion, but there's nothing there for Aruru now, who is going to stay alive, and only Molecat falling, but it's a Molecat for T Dollar. So, I mean, both of them have their big strengths. Hard to tell who's more important right now, especially with T Dollar on these grabs.
There's Myers finding another not one but two wards, but one being saved by a teleport. There's Flame Chompers thrown right on top of it, so Chiruno won't be able to get into this fight. But there's a nice event horizon.
He's gonna, oh no, he's gonna flash out. Very nice ultimate coming out from Myers, and nice crits coming out from Telfer. He's now going to pick up Chiruno. No, he's not, because he's going to get destroyed. He's getting caught in the event horizon. Jasmine there to clean up. Has the resets. Going in onto Harry Abs. He gets the kill. Reset. Jump over to Myers. Going to try to get a crit, but it's denied with a tornado. Very nicely played once again from UConn. They are trying to keep themselves in this game and doing a great job at it.
3-for-1 exchange there. Perfect event horizons from Dofree. Definitely MVPing it up in that fight and was able to land not only two very high priority stuns, but blew Telfer up before he really knew which way was up. Just completely took him out of the fight. Not able to do anything at all. Dofree stacking up the ability power. He's 6-1. I think this is that Veigar effect. The reason you see him so banned so often. Now up to just about 200 extra ability power off stacking up Baleful Strike. It's pretty ridiculous, and he's going to be even more ridiculous when he comes back from base with what looks to be the makings of a either Zhonya's or a Death Cap. It looks like he is going to go the Death Cap route. Did you know? Oh, actually, yeah, Fiends as well. But did you know Void Staff, statistically, the best second item you can go after cooldown reduction because of the way percentage damage increase works on ability power, and because you scale off of a percentage of your opposing laner's ability power as well. So either way, a lot of bursts from Luden's Echo there as well as he decides to form things out. Baron very low.
Smite War. Harry Abs, he's locked down. It goes over to UConn. Prince does get that one, but it's going to be enough. Telfer takes him down. T Dollar also going down. Chiruno is in a bad position. Event Horizon is down. He's going to hop over the wall and be brought back in with the apprehend from Molecat. Very nicely played. Baron goes over to UConn, but 3 of them do fall.
Wow, definitely worth the Baron to go for it, but 3 for Baron. I'm not sure if that's necessarily worth. Granted, great steal and that crowd control perfectly placed by Prince Alushi. It's just like, well, why don't you try to smite it down when I just, wombo combo your whole team? Harry Abs, what?
Oh my God, yeah, Harry Abs, what? Indeed, Primordial Burst was still up, so he just got bursted. But Telfer still on the opposite side there, pelting down at the mid lane inhibitor. He's going to get excited, go out of there as fast as he can, but brought back in by T Dollars. Jasmine 33 picking up that kill. Very nicely played by T Dollars. Getting a full head of steam, pulling him back in, but the mid lane inhibitor is turret is down for both teams now.
Yeah, I should specify, it wasn't just 3 for Baron. There were a couple of kills coming back the other way. And actually, when you look at the gold count, there's a 4,000 gold lead for University of Ottawa. But that really doesn't tell the whole story, because with even just one member of Connecticut with that Baron buff, that means it's going to empower minions. It's going to make you so much stronger as an AD carry. And teleport coming in there. Need to make sure to coordinate those, but canceling, that means Dofree's just not going to be relevant in this fight at all.
It's not, but it looks like UConn, they're going to be backing up, taking what they earned earlier, not going to overextend, not going to overstay. They're going to play this one safe. Mid lane inhibitor is up, or is open. It's been open for quite a while now, and they know it. So they're just going to try to win another team fight and just go back to it. Meanwhile, Ottawa, they're going to get their buffs and try to prepare a little bit better for another team fight. Try not to get caught out by an Event Horizon or a T Dollar, aka T Money God Hand that's been being thrown out so nicely to get this game.
Definitely balanced a lot more carefully than game number 1.
Oh yeah.
The biggest difference though is that there are so many more threats for University of Connecticut. In game 1, it was all about, can you land the wombo combo? And while yes, there is still a lot of combo potential here with all the crowd control, grabs being landed, all of that nonsense, the biggest strength for them is that they're just plain strong. You don't have to be strong in like certain situations. Like you're not strong in split push, in siege, in poke. They just have tons of damage in Tristana and Veigar as they start to just pretty infinitely scale up.
Yeah, speaking of Tristana and Veigar, they still have the Baron buff, so these...
But look at Harry Abs. He's waiting off in the wings for a flank opportunity.
I don't know. It's not going to happen. UConn, they're going to back up once again. Just wait for another wave. Dragon is going to be up in a minute 50 seconds. There was Talisman Ascension popped. By both supports, actually. It looks like Ottawa, they're planning on rushing the mid lane inhibitor, Event Horizon, onto Harry Abs. Gets a lot of damage thrown down into him. But
yeah, big burst there, but I think just running straight for this inhibitor is the better idea.
Yeah.
And Connecticut, they're caught completely out of position.
Yeah, and with a Jinx there, Telfer late in game can easily take it. Looks like they're UConn gonna go for the engage. Nice ultimate from Prince, but he just gets taken down. He's not dead. He gets out with a blinking health bar. Myers.
Oh no, Myers.
Go down with the Event Horizon catching him out. Harry Ab's going to go down as well. Nice reset by Jasmine 33. Double kill for him, in fact. And this is UConn coming back, taking advantage of their AoE stuns and just running over Ottawa.
Wow. Event Horizon feels like old Veigar almost when Dofree uses it, just because he's able to land those stuns so consistently. Like, it's not a mystery. It's like, oh, Veigar is going to put a box around my champion. I should try to move out of the way of that. Like, it's not a mystery, but what's so cool is how he... Oh, the grab
flash! Oh my gosh, flash of God Hand onto Ruru. But Telfer is there to get the crit rockets. Very nicely played by Telfer, but man... Support for a mid lane Lulu down now.
Really impressive, but now inhibitor for inhibitor, both in the mid lane going down, and man, this game is so even. You'd think that for guys like Harry Abs who can run through all this crowd, go, no, Myers is too young to die.
Even Dofree can just one shot anybody, but now he has no Event Horizon. Harry Abs there, Smirkless swings his head off, gets back into the game now, and now the dragon is going to be up. This will be Ottawa's 4th dragon of the game, so it's getting pretty crucial on that front.
Good takedown there on the dragon. Like you said, that does set up for dragon number 5, which is, I want to say, almost even better than Baron as far as combat stats. You get like true damage over time when you hit somebody. That's just, it's so ridiculously good. So keep an eye, plus it doubles the rest of your dragon stats. Keep an eye on dragons. Next one will be very important for University of Ottawa, but Connecticut, they're actually starting to put themselves in a great spot. Their top and jungle synergy may not have been that great this game, combined, what is that, 2 and 9, not accounting for assists, but it is those assists that are so impactful because you don't really need tons of damage from them. You just need lots of crowd control, lots of lockdown, and that's exactly what Chiruno and Prince Alushi are putting together. Tons of crowd control that just make it so difficult for Ottawa to retreat the way that they want to.
Yeah, and we were talking about this game being pretty even. Let's talk about why it's actually even, because so far by the numbers, it looks like Ottawa should be having a distinct advantage, but it's actually closing. That gold gap was about 7K difference. Now it's only about 3K difference, and the turrets are in their favor. But in the mid lane, both inhibitors are down for both teams, and the AoE lockup from UConn doing so much work, along with T-Dollars, aka T-Money's rocket grabs.
Harry Abs running in is going to get a lot of health on him, but running too far and needs the rest of his team to capitalize. Harry Abs still alive, but gets taken down by Chiruno in the backline. Myers maybe in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, Myers in trouble. Chiruno knocks everyone from Ottawa back into UConn. That is going to be Molcat going down. Double kill for Dofree. Resets. Oh, actually, Telfer actually taking out Chiruno, getting a double kill onto Prince as well, but Jasmine 33 getting himself another kill. He's actually legendary 919 now, so he's really come back into this game from that weak laning phase.
Oh man, Telfer. Dofree was thinking about it.
He had that spider sense, but his team probably was like, no, let's go. Baron's up, bro.
Yeah, if he had walked into like maybe double crits from a minigun, that might have been enough to just turn the tides and take him down. So better just not face check, take the Baron. It's a sure thing. I mean, it's about as sure as you can get. Telfer is up and does have a ton of damage, but won't have Quicksilver Sash, so any sort of CC just means an instantly dead Jinx.
Baron going down relatively quickly. Only Telfer is there to assist and trying to steal it. Not going to happen, though. He's going to actually get in with the Baron buff on Jasmine 33. Not a good idea. Ururu comes up. Pixies,
oh my god.
Pixies T-Doll's head off, and now there's a teleport.
2 hits and Ururu almost just dead. But trying to get something to happen here. Jasmine and Shiruno backing off. Man, this Tristan is actually on a whole nother level. Jasmine with almost full build. Should have full build when she goes back. Yeah, 2,000 gold in his pocket. And really only looking for what I can only assume is going to be an Essence Reaver. He's got a Vampiric Scepter. Maybe he's going for a Blade of the Ruined King for the double lifesteal. But, I mean, at some point you need like a Guardian Angel.
Got to build watercolors, so yeah.
Yeah, he's going for a Blade of the Ruined King for double lifesteal instead of getting a defensive item like, you know, Banshee's Veil, Guardian Angel, Quicksilver Sash, something along those lines.
Yeah, very interesting pick. I mean, it's not an interesting pickup at this point in the game. Harry Abs. I mean, this is the point. You know, they're actually at the point. Dofree is so strong. He has how much AP does he actually have? Over 1,000. He has 1,176 AP. He's at the point where now, even if Harry Abs gets caught out, he's just gonna get bursted into oblivion by Dofree. Dofree is so powerful. Anyone caught in the flash will be destroyed.
All right, well, Ururu pretty much out of the fight for now. Will Recall does have home guards to come back into the fight, so should see her in a second. The push down bottom, that's where Connecticut's going, and this game really balanced on a knife's edge. Less than 1,000 gold separates both teams, and we're 40 minutes in. Hyper carries, hyper carrying, but not a whole lot in the way of turrets left on the map. Here's Connecticut pushes in for what looks to be possibly their second inhibitor of the game. Are they in range for it? Turret's just going to explode immediately. An Event Horizon will seal the escape for Connecticut.
Yeah, and during that little exchange right there, Jasmine 33 actually got half health. Chances are, if they wanted to engage, they may have been able to get Jasmine 33's life, but it's so risky engaging onto a Veigar, onto a Sejuani. And Chiruno rather, it's been so good with these Mega Gnar ultimates. I mean, Ottawa, they're questioning themselves on what to do right now because they can't engage without being counter-engaged, but they also can't get out of their base right now unless they want to lose pretty much everything at this point in the game. Mid lane inhibitor is up. They're going to try to defend it as much as possible with super minions pushing into the bot side.
I was looking for flank opportunities. There are a couple of deep wards placed behind Connecticut for teleports that could be great flanking opportunities, but instead choosing to recall back to base. There's about 2,000 gold on Tristana. It's going to be a completed Blade of the Ruined King there, and you've also got a ton of gold on Veigar as well, about 1,600 there. He's got 3 needlessly large rod items built immediately. If he wants to build 2 more, he could get Rylai's and Seraph's Embrace, the other 2 that build out of that. But instead, he's probably just going to look for a Void Staff, which he actually didn't have until this point, just relying on raw ability power to make it up.
So many wards in the jungle of Ottawa right now. UConn have full vision of what's going on. Harry Abs, he's going to be caught out. He has Ragnarok, pops it, gets out of there. Oh, this actually might go really well for Ottawa. Nice pickup onto Prince from Telfer. Event Horizon not hitting anybody, and the Primordial Burst not killing anybody either. Huge crits coming out from Telfer thanks to the Zeke's Herald.
Oh my gosh, Dofree,
rather.
Myers, the bloodthirsty support, flashing in for the kill. And now maybe even game point off that. There is a minion left stalling this wave in the mid lane. That's right, Jasmine is down there. Harry Abs cannot fight Jasmine. He's got double lifesteal and Blade of the Ruined King.
Can keep him from backing though, and with Telfer on the offensive, he can take down these inhibitors and turrets extremely quickly.
Harry Abs is gonna die. No, just barely survives 52 HP. And he's gonna suicide or just he doesn't stop the recall. I think Jasmine should have probably continued his recall. He's not going to be able to recall. Jasmine, you're not recalling. Jasmine, what's up? Jasmine's not recalling. He's just standing still. I think he realizes the game is actually just over. A little bit late on the recall timings there. And even with the Blitzcrank suicide, Ottawa in 43 minutes with a tied 26-26 score. taking game number 2.
What an intense game. That was such a good last team fight for Ottawa. They got everything they wanted, and Dofree could not blow anybody up. Very, very well played by Ottawa. And at best of 3, they won both games. Second game, not without a fight.
My God, what a game. What a victory. That's what it says on the screen there for Ottawa. Just crazily well played. Gonna look down at the scoreboard here for just a second. 12-3-7 there for Dofree. 11-1-9 for Jasmine. But sometimes it's not necessarily the carries that matter. It's whether or not you have that one death when it counts. And after that fight, just such a great play there by Telfer, able to, kite around the back. Harry App's getting grabbed, not necessarily intentionally, but then too much focus on the Olaf while the rest of the damage was coming in there. Just really well played there. And congratulations to University of Ottawa, who will take a 2-0 victory over University of Connecticut. So just gotta give it up to the GG. They're on their mascot. Congratulations, very well played, and that's gonna do it for tonight's best of 3.
Yeah, it was very entertaining games, and we'll be back next Friday with who is it? It's Robert Morris University coming in, and we haven't seen them since last year, of course, and they have a whole new roster, but they are one of the 2 featured schools in the CSL that have a collegiate program that actually give money scholarships to collegiate athletes. So a lot of hype around them. Very anxious to see them play next Friday at what is it, 6 o'clock? It's PST now, not PDT. Time change. Thank you. Yeah.
Well played. Yeah, 6 at PDT when it comes back around on Friday. So make sure to hit us up then. In the meantime, we want to thank everybody else for coming out and tuning in. It's been a blast and a half, but we want to go ahead and throw it over to a quick commercial break to finish things out. Make sure to support our sponsors who help make this season possible. You can see them right there on your screen. It's Brain Gear, Twitch, and Alpha Draft. Definitely couldn't do it without them, so make sure to support them for supporting us. And like I said, that is going to do it for us tonight. So in the meantime, before we see you guys again, have a great night. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching CSL.